Welcome back to Jenna's Kitchen. Easter is super close, and normally at Easter time we take communion at church. Well, we can't really do that because our churches are shut down because of this whole coronavirus pandemic, but that doesn't mean you can't take communion at home for your Easter celebration. I'm going to show y'all an easy communion bread recipe for your Easter time festivities while you stay at home. We're going to take 1 cup of flour, 1/4 cup of shortening, and cut the shortening into the flour with a pastry cutter. For communion, the bread is normally unleavened because unleavened bread doesn't have yeast, baking soda, or baking powder to make it rise. The reason that is because leavened bread in the Bible was bread that you could make super quick. You just put yeast and water and flour and it'd be all good to go. And that represented the haste and the rushing and everything that God did not want us to do. Unleavened bread didn't have any yeast or anything, so it took so much longer, and every time that you got a batch done, you would take a little piece of it as starter dough for your next batch. And that represented the sacrifices that we have to make and that God had to make to let us live a happy life and worship Him. Alright, we have this in pea-sized chunks. Now we're going to add 3 tablespoons of water and 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. Give this a mix. We have mixed in our water and our salt. We're just going to dump our flour mixture onto our countertop with some flour so it doesn't stick. And just knead this to make sure it's all combined. And we use unleavened bread because that is what Jesus had in His Last Supper with His disciples. And at our church, we take communion every single week to remind us of what Jesus did. He died on the cross for us and rose again 3 days later, and that's why we celebrate Easter. But some churches don't do that. Sometimes they only take it on Easter or Christmas or only on holidays. And if you don't have a church to go to while you're under quarantine or just don't have one to go to in general, you can join us at Hillview on YouTube, Facebook, and hillview.com. We have Sunday services that stream at 8, 9:30, and 11, and Wednesday night services that start at 6:30. And for Holy Week, we have a Bible study, noonday Bible study every day. Get your Jesus in. Alright, this is looking good. We're going to take a rolling pin, roll it. You could roll it however thick or thin you want to. Shape it up into a desired shape. I'm just going to take a knife, cut it in half, and cut it half this way. Now I'm just going to cut strips and then cut those into little squares. Alright, we've cut them up into little bite-sized pieces, and they're not all the same size, and that's okay. It's really just based on the symbolism that we're trying to get at here. Alright, we have a pan. We just have some parchment paper all ready to go. We're going to take our little communion bread bites and put them on the pan. We're going to take a fork and poke some holes in our little communion bread bites. That way the air inside them can be released and so they don't go. I'm going to keep on poking these holes, and once I get that finished, these are ready to go in the oven 300 degrees for 10 to 15 minutes. Alright, here are the communion bread bites that we made today. I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. This is really significant because it represents Jesus' body and His blood that He poured out for us on the cross, and that His body was broken, and it represents all of our sins being forgiven by Him dying because He lived a perfect life. He didn't sin at all, but we have, and He didn't do anything bad, but He died for us because He loves us. We love you too. And that's why we're celebrating Easter. And if you want to celebrate Easter with us at Hillview, you can go to their Facebook page, their YouTube channel, or their website. I'll put all those links in the description box down below. Plus, you can try this out this Easter Sunday, because this is the first Easter of my lifetime that I've never gone to church. Like, I've always been in church on Easter Sunday, worshiping, love the Lord, And this is a great recipe for you to try on your Easter festivities. Alright, don't forget to like this video, comment your favorite Easter tradition down below, subscribe to Jenna's Kitchen, and have a great day. Because we're not physically going to be inside church, doesn't mean we can't celebrate our church tradition.